Disclaimer, Joss, Jules, and Nevermore are not professional therapists. They will be sharing their personal experiences and advice, but this is in no way a substitute for professional help. There is also a good chance of swearing, tears, and triggering conversations, so listener discretion is advised. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Slaying Demons, a podcast about facing your fears in life and being the best version of yourself. I am your host, Jocelyn, and joining me, as always, are my two lovely ladies, Jules and Nevermore. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? I feel like it's been forever since we talked. We didn't actually get to do much of a game night last week. Jules, you weren't feeling so hot, and yeah, so I feel like it's been forever, even though it probably hasn't been that long, but feels like forever for some reason.
It kind of has been forever, especially to do a show, because the last one we did was about BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Which is now like a month away.
Yeah. Okay.
Previous.
Did everyone else just totally like lose the month of November? Did you just like wake up and it was just December and you were like, what the fuck? Because that definitely happened to me.
Yes. I mean, and this is what happens every single time when we get home from BlizzCon and I go, oh my God, Thanksgiving is blah, blah, blah weeks away. And it's really quick and it's really close because, you know, we have our American Thanksgiving then.
Right. Because I was going to say, for me, it's like BlizzCon into Extra Life, like just that kind of already gets rid of the first half of my November. And then, so I don't really have a whole ton of time there. But you guys have Thanksgiving on top of that. So, man,
and that
just flew by.
I don't know if this works for you as well in Canada, but Thanksgiving always seems to signal the official beginning of the holiday season for us. It's like it's the kickoff. You get Thanksgiving, you get Black Friday, you get all that stuff, right?
We get Black Friday now. We never used to. Our big shopping day used to be Boxing Day and still is in a lot of ways. But we get Black Friday now. It's like spilled over from you guys, and it's not even like Black Friday anymore. It's Black Friday week and then Cyber Monday week. Which is just crazy.
And then, shop small Saturday. And it's crazy. And so, my brain kind of just goes into this frenzy mode of like, oh my God, holidays. And I will always forget to make travel plans to go see my family. It's inevitable. It happens every time. I'm like, oh God, I forgot to book my holiday travel. So it's just been, it's hard to find that rhythm, which kind of triggers the conversation for this episode tonight.
It does. Excellent lead-in, Jules. We're basically going to talk about the holidays and some of the emotional issues you might have around the holidays. So I believe around this time last year, I can't remember if it was our Christmas episode or a Thanksgiving episode, but one way or another, we did a talk about basically issues you could potentially have with friends and family around the holidays. We're not going to harp on that this year. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about kind of how we feel going into the holidays and some of the issues that we have, like, internalized in a lot of ways, dealing with just the season. And I know, Jules, I'm going to let you kind of lead this off because I have some thoughts, but this is very much like a Jules-driven kind of conversation. So take her away.
So, I mean, this conversation kind of originated from a discussion we were having between the three of us, which is that I've just been feeling like it's very difficult to get into the holiday spirit this year. And trying to figure out why. I mean, I used to love Christmas. Like, I love Christmas. Christmas lights are my favorite thing in the world because it's colorful and bright, and that is like me. I love bright, shiny things. I'm looking at my keyboard right now, which is glowing in rainbow colors. I'm looking at my mouse right now, which is glowing in rainbow colors.
Mine too.
Yes, like I am very much into. So Christmas lights are like the epitome of that type of thing, and part of it is like personally what's going on right now is I've got what I consider to be probably a terminally ill kitty right now. And so it's taken out of any like Christmas spirit because I'm like, I just don't feel like it. But we got to Thanksgiving this year and I was just like, I realized that holidays now after the last 2 years have had some really negative memories attached to them. And last year wasn't like this. It wasn't that bad, and I think, and I'm like, well, why is it bad this year? Why am I so glum? Why do I feel so like it's bringing me down and I'm remembering bad feelings of sadness and pain and all that stuff. And it's like, how do I detach that from the holidays? Because it's something that I've really used to love. And that's kind of my demon right now, I guess. Like, I don't understand how to do that without, obviously it's like, yeah, Jules, go to therapy. Go get some goddamn therapy and start talking about why this time attaches to really negative thinking. And it's not even negative thinking. It's just bad memories. Of things that happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it's so interesting to me because I remember like this time last year, you thought it was going to be hard. And there were a couple of like, I guess, hurdles you had to get past, for lack of a better term. But I mean, you weren't just overall blah. You were still excited for Christmas. You were still in the mood for the holidays. It's just, sometimes you had little bouts of sad. And I think we all have little bouts of sad at this time of year for a lot of different reasons. But I find it really interesting with you in particular that you like skipped a year. And I wonder if you were still kind of in a little bit of shock maybe, or if it was more so just that like it was your first year in your current situation. And so it was like you were almost like ready for it and bracing for it and being like, okay, I'm going to feel like total crap. And then when you didn't feel as bad as you thought you were going to, you almost like let your guard down. And then this year you're just like, oh, I was totally fine last year. And then you're like, your feelings are just like, pow, pow, right in the stomach. Like, oh, you think you're okay, eh? Kabam.
Yeah. And it sucks. I also think that I was very much last year in reactionary mode, like that constant feeling of like, what's coming next? I don't know what's around the corner next. It's still very fresh and, kind of like you're constantly on guard. And I'm not constantly on guard anymore.
You're much more settled this year because you bought a home in the meantime as well, right? Like,
yeah. And this time last year, I was like, I have to get out of my current situation at my apartment. I have to find a new place to live. I can't afford it here. It sucks. I'm freezing because it's so badly insulated and it's fucking cold here in Minnesota. And so it was just all of those things. And so this year I'm not racing against I kind of felt like it was racing against the clock, like there was just this constant like need to do stuff and need to fix things and need to get better. So it's kind of hit me like I'm sitting here like, I should put my tree up. I don't really want to put my tree up. I don't really care. And then like this weekend, I've got a bunch of stuff to do this weekend. I'm not going to have time. Next weekend I'm going away. It doesn't matter. That's where it's been happening, which is not like me at all. And it's specifically about the holidays itself. It's that whole, and I don't understand. I wish it was better because I hate it.
Yeah.
So
do you think last year it was more of like distracting realities with like, last year was first BlizzCon on your own, right? Like where you could enjoy yourself and stuff. Do you think part of like riding the high through the holidays kind of made you think about stuff less?
Probably. I was probably just grateful to be free of all of the other stuff. Like it was that that freedom, This is my first, it was a first of a lot of things. First BlizzCon on my own, first holidays on my own, all those things. But it sucks at the same time. Like, there's nothing any different this year. Like, everything is the same. In terms of that, it's just like, yeah. I mean, and so I guess the thing, the demon or whatever it is needs to be addressed, but it's like, just because things are pretty much the same in terms of logistics doesn't always mean that it's the same what's going on in your head as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's good to remember that. You have to kind of honor that and say, yeah, last year I was fine. Everything was great. And but this year it's not. Okay, well, maybe we need to look at that. So yeah, that's I'm going, even here's another part of it. The holidays used to be, for me, and I think this transitions really well into the stuff that you guys have. It was really, really big family time. And over the years, the family has shrunken and fractured in a lot of ways. A lot of interpersonal battles between people that used to spend time together and they don't anymore. And so like this Thanksgiving even, I remember I was talking to I was over at Pat Crane's family's house, and they were asking me about what Thanksgiving was like when I was a kid. And we used to have a Thanksgiving because it was just such a big family. And my parents told me this year, and it's been like that for the last couple of years, it was just my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece, and they went out to dinner. And that's how Thanksgiving has been. And they were like, well, we missed you, but it's just Thanksgiving. It's whatever. And, but we missed you. I was like, I know. And Christmas is pretty much the same thing. It used to be this huge family gathering, lots of people, lots of all day stuff. It was awesome. Now it's like people don't even want to, they fight over who doesn't have to host it.
Mm.
So I don't even go home for Thanksgiving, I don't go home for Thanksgiving, and I don't go home on Christmas. I go in the middle of the month so that I can avoid all that.
Mm. I know, like that is basically the kind of reason behind some of my more negative, sad holiday feelings. Because I've noticed the same thing, is that like I used to be super, super into holidays. Used to be specifically Christmas. Like I freaking loved it. And, I kind of for a while thought it was like, oh, well, I'm just getting older. I don't have that same like youthful sense of wonder or whatever. But it's so much more than that, because, you're totally right about the whole like fracturing of family. It's surprising how often that happens. Like, mm-hmm. I know in my family specifically, we used to have like Christmas was like, it was like the whole month of December. We had like, we would always go and cut down our own tree, which we just did again this past weekend. But even my brother didn't come. It was just my parents and Matt and I who went and cut down our own trees, because we have a bazillion trees and tree farms in Canada. So we always get live Christmas trees. So we go and cut our own. But that used to be like, my dad has 6 siblings, so it would be all of them and their significant others. It would be all the kids. It would be all of like my aunt and uncle who used to host it. It would be all of their hunting buddies and their significant others. Like, we would have this gigantic Christmas party. Everyone would go cut their own tree, and it was like, 60 people. It was huge.
Yeah.
And then, like since then, like my uncle passed away, but before that even happened, they like had a big falling out with my parents. So then they stopped, like we stopped going. I stopped seeing them so much. Like, a lot of my dad's siblings have passed away. I'm not married. My brother's not married. There's no kids. And like, I don't have any kids. My brother doesn't have any kids. So it's just like our family and our get-togethers. And I mean, my grandfather has passed away. My grandfather and grandmother on my dad's side have passed away. My grandmother is the only one who's left, and I've talked about it before on the show. She has memory issues because of brain tumors, so she's basically not there anymore. Like, yeah. So I mean, like, it's just, we went from like all these like events that would happen on the lead up to Christmas, and then our actual Christmas. even just Christmas Day was like, we would have, my parents and their 2 kids, so me and my brother, and then we'd have my aunt and uncle, and they have 3 kids, and then we'd have like all of my great aunts and uncles and my grandparents. Like, again, we'd have like these dinners of like 20 to 25 people, even when it was just like my mom's side, which is the smaller side. And now it's like we have, me and Matt and my brother and his girlfriend and my parents, and that's it. Like, so now we have these gigantic family gatherings to like 6 people. And like, it's still great, but then there's also this element of like disjointed travel for me, because our holidays are never just like when we were kids. It was like, I guess you're kind of spoiled because you can just like stay in one place. Everyone comes to you. It's awesome. And, but now I find that I get super stressed over holidays because like we have to go to my parents' place. We have to fit in Matt's mom and Matt's dad, 2 separate family get-togethers. So it's like we have 2 to 3 days to fit in 3 family gatherings, and we're driving all over the freaking place. So it's like you don't get a chance to like stop and enjoy the time with where you are. It's just like, can I just get home and have my own bed now?
It's about obligation instead of enjoyment. Mm-hmm.
And you always feel like, one thing that I don't think you've actually mentioned yet, Jules, but it's like you have all of these ideas in your head about how you should feel and what you should do and what should happen. And it's just like, you've got rose-colored glasses of when it comes to all your memories of all these family things that have happened in the past. And then so you're like, oh my God, okay, it's Christmas. Christmas is amazing. And then it's the actual day and you're like, I don't remember it being like this. Why is it not amazing? So it's like the expectations are up here and your experience might be down here. And then when you add on to, you're thinking about people who you've lost, people who aren't in your life anymore, like all these other things. And it just kind of compounds on this one day that there's this huge like 6-week lead up to every single year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was the thing. Like I used to be like, I'd love to listen to Christmas music and I'd love to, decorate the house and all that stuff. And then, so today I put on Spotify and I put on Christmas music and I'm listening. And then there's this song about Christmas is supposed to be about being with the one you love. And I'm like, fuck you.
Spotify.
What about us single people? God damn it.
Yeah.
So that was, and so I shut it off because it was like, so, and and it sucks because I know that for somebody else on this show, Christmas is a really super awesome time. And I hate being like, blah de blah, Christmas, blah de blah. But this is what I've been grappling with. And I wish that I could change it. I don't know how.
Well, it's really, really hard because you have to like reset your thinking, and then it's like, well, I could do that, or like, should I even do that? Like, is me feeling crappy at Christmas time the worst thing in the world? Like, maybe I just want to be sad, guys.
Right? Yes.
Like, it's okay to have your.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to have your feelings.
Sometimes when like I'm upset about something, I'm like, I have to let it out. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear your logic.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, every single one of your feelings is totally valid. And Christmas is one of those times of year that even if you manage to kind of squelch the majority of your feelings through the majority of the year, Christmas is just one of those times, like I would say, kind of like Christmas and probably your birthday are the kind of times of the year when you kind of look back, reflect, like take into like account of the last year of your life and all the rest of the stuff. And it just, sometimes it just hits you and it sucks and it's not necessarily great. Sometimes it's fantastic, but sometimes it's not. And I feel like this year, unfortunately, for me, I think it's been a great year. For Jules, it's been a bad year. So now we're talking about it. I'm like, hey, Christmas. And she's like, oh, sad. And I'm just like, no, don't be sad. I'm sorry. I don't want my happy in your face. Like
that. And that especially, like, I do not want to bring somebody down. Like, you posted a beautiful picture of your Christmas tree.
It was pretty.
And it's gorgeous. And I'm so excited that you have a house that you can put a Christmas tree in. And it's just this cool thing. And I feel bad that I'm not like more excited about that, because it's like that.
Do you want to know a secret,
like
Jules?
that? I would be usually like, holy shit, come to my house and make that happen for me.
That's what I told my sister. She got her tree up. I'm like, hey, come do mine. I'll make room. Like, right over there. Just please set it up.
All right. I'll tell you a secret. And this is because usually when I do Christmas things, it puts me in a good mood. That Christmas tree is a rage tree. I was really pissed off yesterday and I needed something to change my mood. So I put on the like crazy screaming punk playlist. So I wasn't even listening to Christmas music. I was just like, rage decorating, need to get this tree done. And I'm not going to go into why.
12 splaz of Christmas.
Yeah, the 12 splaz of Christmas. I'm telling you, I'm not going to get into why I was all ragey yesterday, because it is what it is. It's whatever. It's in the past. It's fine. But yeah, that was definitely like, I need to not be near any computers or anything. I need to cut myself off for a couple hours. And I just need to rage. So yeah, that's my rage Christmas tree.
I guess it's a good thing that it's a natural tree, so that you can just like, you can take it out of the house after it's over.
Yep. So that, yeah. Yep, there was a lot of rage that went into that tree, but then I felt a lot better. So, like I got my rage out, I was productive with something, and now I can look at it and go, I really like our tree. Even if it is the tree that Rage built.
But doesn't it give you like a sense of kind of calm within like the crazy chaos of the season? Like, I find that like at night, like if you see the lights and stuff, like for me it does that. I don't know about everybody else.
Oh yeah, like once it's totally done, like I can just sit and stare at a tree for hours. Like I just make myself a hot chocolate and I can just sit there and watch it be all glittery and sparkly and pretty, and yeah.
No joke. Okay, one year we were so busy. I felt like I was behind on everything. I was able to get the tree up, and this was when we lived in our old apartment. Got the tree up, and I didn't want to like fuck around with all the lights, because like, like you have to walk around it or whatever, or some people do the zigzag method and hide it and then you don't decorate the back at all, but I always go all the way around. And I was like,
me too. I feel like if
that.
you just
like,
zigzag, you're
all the
cheating.
Other stuff out. I literally plugged in the lights and tossed the ball of them on the tree, and that's how we left it that year. Like, that's all. But at least the tree got put up, and I put lights on it.
Wow. I did 800 lights this year. There's 800 lights on my tree.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the tree that threw up Christmas lights. And it's gorgeous.
Yep. But yeah, oh man. I totally don't even know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something, but
well, on what you guys were talking about big family stuff, like ours was kind of the same way too growing up. It would be like, because it's my mom, her brother, and two brothers. So it would be like their significant others, their kids. And we would just all always go over to my aunt's house, and it was always kind of a little bit arranged of who brought what or whatever, but it would be open to whoever would want to go. So if like you had a friend in town that had nowhere to go, like it was always okay to like bring that person.
Open door policy.
Yeah, not frowned upon or anything. And I like remember that for years when we were younger, it was always at my aunt's house. There was always probably a good 50 to 70 people, depending on the year, who brought who and all that kind of stuff. And like now we go and it's my mom, my grandma, my sister, her husband, my niece, me and Ben. Like that's it. It's super small. And I almost kind of like it more. And like, that's like from an adult social anxiety standpoint, where like you don't have to deal with the people who haven't seen you for a whole year and don't know what's going on with your life, and you don't have to pretend to talk to people you don't really want to talk to, and just kind of stuff like that. Like I kind of like the more intimate small family stuff. And then this year we're trying to decide if it's going to work out to go see his parents in California, because we never get to see them But his sister and him have jobs where it's like easier to take time off, and I don't. So I mean, I could, but I haven't heard if we get like the day before or after off and all that kind of stuff. So we're trying to coordinate that kind of thing. But I like it smaller. Like, I have nostalgic memories of like the huge groups, but even still, like as a kid, like we always felt like we were in the middle. Like, we weren't with the older kids where they were talking about their stuff and we were too old to like hang out with the younger kids. So we were just kind of there, you know, in the middle of like a whole bunch of people we didn't know. So
yeah,
I can definitely see that.
Like it.
No, and it's a really good point, because I know, for me at least, not being around people who like don't see me through the year is so much easier from a social perspective because of what I do for work now, because of my living situation. Like, I love Matt to death. We now own a home together. Like, he is my partner, and that is the way that our life is. But trying to explain that to aunts and uncles and like the older generation, and then especially when I start talking about what I do for work, they're like, they don't understand my relationship status, they don't understand my living situation, and they don't understand my job. And then I have to have that awkward conversation 18 times over, and I'm just like, okay, this is now super exhausting. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I do internet radio and I live with my boyfriend and we own a house. Don't talk to me anymore.
But you're right. It is very like repetitive, and it's just, you know, you just don't want to talk about all that. It's like, it's the whole like weird conversation thing that people talk about all the time. Like,
it's like they think it's small talk, and then they hear your answers and they're like, whoa, this was not small talk.
Yeah. And that's kind of why, like, I would rather spend time with like friends and close family, you know, than deal with kind of the like, and I think part of it too is I think social media in the last couple of years has also changed gatherings like that. Like, if you think about it, like, you felt like an obligation to like go and show up and like see all these people, and now like you kind of see little bits about them throughout the year on like Facebook and stuff, so you don't feel like it's this huge thing that you have to get together with all of those people anymore, if that makes sense.
Well, actually, and speaking of social media, I had a really interesting conversation. I went out with a couple of my best friends for dinner over the weekend for one of my friends' birthdays. And we were actually talking about like how much more stress there is, at least in the last couple of years, because of things like not only Facebook, because obviously Facebook's been around for a while, but specifically like Instagram and Pinterest. It's like every party has to have a perfectly executed theme, and everything has to be like picture perfect. And, you know, like, here's my decorations that I made out of recycled paper and Q-tips. Like, it's just like all of this stupid, random, ridiculous shit that you feel like you have to do. It's like, you can't just say, and I find people say this to me all the time, because since I've put on weight specifically, I haven't really been so crazy about being in photos or having photos, taking lots of photos whenever I'm doing a thing. So I'll be like, oh, I went out with friends for my friend's birthday last weekend. Oh, where's all the pictures? I didn't take any. I had fun with my friends. Like, but I know a lot of people feel this level of stress of like feeling like everything has to be like perfectly decorated and perfectly themed. And, you know, like even wrapping of presents and the giving of presents. It's not just the thought that counts anymore. It's, you know, how can I pose the present next to my perfectly sliced piece of birthday cake? Like, everything is
keeping up with the Joneses. Like, that's all it is all the time.
Crazy intensely that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfectly documented.
Perfectly documented, keeping up with said Joneses. And the Joneses are all over. They're not just next door anymore. They're every freaking where.
Yeah,
you have to be You have to be a perfect host. You have to be a perfect guest. You have to be a perfect photographer. You have to be a perfect everything. Perfect mom. Perfect aunt. Perfect everything. No, thank you. And again, it really comes to a head with Christmas.
I purposely do not post things like I didn't take a single picture at Thanksgiving. It was not, you know, like my life gets documented as I document my life. You know, it's not like I have to take a special occasion to do it. And I think that's what happens. Like, yeah, you go out with your best girlfriends, right? And the expectation is, why didn't you take a group photo and put it on Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sad that we didn't get a picture all together this year.
Yeah, that was dumb. We did get one in Nerdtacular. Like, we made sure that happened. And that was good.
Because we're just busy and stuff. But no, I know what you're saying. Like, it just feels like for example, my sister all the time, she's the photo taker for her family. Like, and she wants those perfect pictures of Ellie and all that. And we tell her sometimes, hey, like, we've gotten a few.
Calm down.
Like, you know, like we try to remind her, like, okay, it's important, but take it back a step, you know. But she's realized, like, she's taking so many, she's not in very many. You know what I mean?
Not in
like,
the moment either.
She's gotten so many good pictures of me with her husband and her kid, like, and I'm just like,
that's okay. You guys are twins, though. It's basically like she's in the picture.
So it's just, you know, and I get it. It's you feel like you have to compete with people, where I'm at the point where I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. Like, it's like there's pictures that I don't feel like I'm thrilled with how I look. But
did she just drop out for you, Jules?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It might be my internet. I don't know. I try to make the best of being in pictures, whether I'm happy with myself or not, because I want to be able to make the memories with friends and family and have that, you know, without going overboard with all the crazy pictures.
Yeah. No, and I wasn't so much even talking necessarily about pictures like of yourself. It's just like, it feels like you can't just be like, oh, here's a picture of, you know, whatever, my table or my, you know, home, and here's all the people in my home, because then, like, the expectation is if you're taking a picture of, like, your table, then, you know, you can't just have a centerpiece. You have to have, like, the centerpiece, like, and it has to all look like it's coming from the cover of a magazine or something, because of the popularity now of things like Pinterest and Instagram, that it's that whole other level of pressure.
No one wants to host it because they can't have that, like, editing control of, like, this is the angle that my really fancy table's at, but everything behind it is crazy clutter. Like, that's why, like, you know, a grandma or grandpa or mom, like an older mom or dad are like, we'll host it at our house because, like, their home is their home. It's not like they have to, like, fight for, like, exactly how it looks. So it's like, well, I mean, you're not having anxiety of people taking a picture of, like, your clutter corner.
Hosting, yeah, I think it just, you know, has that extra level of difficulty now that it never used to have when, you know, my parents were hosting, or, you know, my grandparents were hosting. I know, like, and it's funny because, like, the pictures I have of those times, like, specifically, I'm thinking, like, pictures from, like, birthday parties growing up. Like, the place is a freaking mess. There's wrapping paper all over the place. There's, like, new toys all over the place. There are kids running around in the background, like, obviously screaming because they've got, like, arms over their heads. Like, it's just total mayhem. You don't see total mayhem pictures anymore.
You really don't.
You don't, ever, anywhere.
They're very set up and posed. And...
Yeah.
It's a great point, because, like, you go back and look at your old photos and it's just like, it looks like a tornado hit on Christmas morning with all the things everywhere, and now it's like perfectly cropped and just perfectly
and like all the pictures or all the presents are still perfectly under the tree, and like maybe the cat or the dog is sitting in front of the tree too, and like warming itself by the fire or something. You know, like, meanwhile, if that was like really my house, it would be like wrapping paper everywhere and presents everywhere, because who waits past 7 a.m. on Christmas?
Me, because I don't want to get up.
That's like the one day of the year that I see 7 a.m. the proper way, not the stay up all night way.
Because you stayed up around the clock.
So
there's one
too long didn't read version of this whole episode is adulting at Christmas sucks.
Yes.
Live with your inner child.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to remind you of something that I read on Reddit a while ago, and I think it is a wonderful lesson to keep in mind, especially right now. And that is, don't let someone's highlight reel be compared to your behind the scenes. And that is what social media is that it is someone's highlight reel. It is manufactured. It is created. It is not reality, because it's cropped and highlighted and filtered to that point. And it makes sense, like, you know, because we can sit there and go, oh my God, my life is not that perfect. Well, theirs isn't either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that was probably the 10th selfie that she took. Because because ladies, let's just face it. You and I both know that anytime you take a selfie, you are trashing at least 7 before you actually post.
Oh my God. I remember in like the 3rd year probably of university, my best friend and roommate at the time, we took like literally the world's best selfie ever. And we tried to recreate that selfie every single time we got dressed up for the next like 4 years, and we could never, ever, ever do it again. I don't know what the magic of that one selfie moment was, but it was like the perfect selfie. Perfect. Yeah. Freaking hate selfies.
Yeah, no kidding.
My mom said that too when we were up in Sedona for that wedding. We were on this like little like rooftop mountain church thing that she wanted to go look at, and there was like the pretty Sedona mountains all around or whatever. So I was like, "Come here, Mom." I was like, "We're gonna take a picture." So it's like, "I hate selfies." I was like, "Shut up, we're making memories." Because I don't necessarily take them either, but I wanted a picture with my mom, and my sister wasn't anywhere around, so I was like, "We're doing it."
Yes. You know, so holidays are going to probably be difficult for some of us, maybe a lot of us. And, you know, it's okay. It's okay to say that. It's okay to recognize it. It's okay to say it's going to suck. And they only last a few more weeks. And then it's back to normal.
Everybody forgets about it. And then you live the debt that comes from the people who spend crap loads of money on gifts that don't matter. But
right.
So I think it's really important. And I mean, Jules, you're doing it right now. But if you are struggling and you have someone that you can talk to, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a friend, whether it's even just our Slaying Demons Discord channel, know that there are lots of people out there who want to help you, who will listen, and who are not going to judge. So if you do feel that you're feeling sad over the holidays and you need to reach out, please, please, please do so. It's really important that we just keep the conversation going, which is the whole reason that we started the show in the first place, is just to keep the conversation going. So, ladies, do you have any more final thoughts on Christmas?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Maybe I will get my tree up. We'll see.
I think you should. I think it might be a little bit therapeutic for you. Even if you just get, like Nevermore said, just get the tree up and put the lights on, just so you have that holiday twinkle. Because yeah, even just that, it's warm and heartwarming, I think, to look at a Christmas.
Yeah. Well, and it has that like nostalgic kind of memory feel. Like, I don't know. For me, that's kind of important, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get those things that make your fake trees smell like real trees, because they don't. They just smell like pine sol. They don't actually make them smell like real trees. They're way too strong. So just don't do that.
Fair enough.
Nevermore, did you have any final thoughts on Christmas that you wanted to share?
Like, I'm not like over the top Christmas crazy person. I love it. I like Halloween too, but obviously Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween, like I like the mesh. So like I kind of celebrate the whole in between part.
It's just a total season of celebration for Nevermore, from like the beginning of October to the end of December.
But I mean, I think too, like, you know how everybody complains like stuff starts too early and when's the right time to start music and blah and whatever. And I agree, like I don't think it should start till after Thanksgiving regardless. I know stores do it earlier, but like for us out here where we don't get that seasonal change, like I feel like growing up, like it's always been kind of a forced jump into like the holiday season. You know what I mean? So in a way, like I kind of have to like prep myself to be like excited about it, because we don't get that whole, oh, it's snowing, like it's gonna be Christmas soon, you know, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like okay, we make it or fake it or whatever they call it. Like it's just you just
fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. I think it's kind of the same thing with Christmas, where it's just you kind of have to like make you're happy, I guess, you know, like there's always going to be stuff that sucks all the time throughout your whole life, and I think it's hard to remember to stay positive. And I'm saying that as somebody who struggles with anxiety, and if I don't talk to people, I think that they're not going to want to talk to me and stuff like that. But it is very important to not get too distracted with all the crazy busy happenings within your calendar of prepping for this month. Like, don't forget like to reach out to friends and family and, say hi. And, even if it's just a card or like a message to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Like, I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. That's one thing that I need to get better at is just now, I guess, adulting in general and sending Christmas cards, because I feel like it's really important and I never do it. And then I get I get Christmas cards from people and I'm like, shit.
Yeah. That's why I made it like my Slaying Demons goal of that. I always get it ready and get it out, and I have like a box of them and they're organized, and I'll write some out and I'll get some of them stamped and some of them addressed, and then they sit there, and then all of a sudden it's Christmas and I'm like, well, shit. And then it's just like frustrating from there. So this year I ordered a photo card, so now all I have to do is write something on it and put the address on it and send it. So that's the goal. So we'll see by the next episode if I do it.
I did Christmas cards one year. I think it was the first year that I was like living away from home alone, and not at school. And so I was like, okay, I feel like an adult. I'm going to make Christmas cards. And I like got everybody's addresses, and I wrote everybody these really nice notes in these Christmas cards, and I put them all in the envelopes, and I addressed them all, and I forgot to send them. They're from almost 10 years ago now, and they are literally still in a box upstairs. Like, I should actually just mail them. Yeah. I'd be like, hey, person I don't even talk to anymore. 10 years ago, I thought you were awesome.
This is going to be a time capsule for you.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yep. Adulting. I'm so good at it, guys. You don't even know. On that note, I think that's pretty much going to do it for us tonight. Jules, where can folks find you on the internet?
You can find me at Jules RPG on Twitter. You can find me at my other show, which is Tauren Think Tank, on Thursdays at 8 o'clock Central, twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. And I actually put together a website for all of my chainmail stuff that is like a portfolio of stuff that I've done. And it links to my Etsy, and it links to my email, and it's chainofjewels.com. Go out there and check it out. It just went up yesterday, and yay, me. I made a website.
That's awesome. I kind of looked at it earlier while I had a little bit of signal at work, and I thought it looked really good.
Thank you.
I think I did it wrong.
Super easy.
Can you spell it? Because I think I linked it wrong in the chat room.
Oh, no. It is Chain of Jules. So ChainofJules.com.
Huh.
Is it not working?
No. I mean, no, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It should be working. It was working before. We'll see. It's not working. All right. Well, take a look. It should be there.
Take a look if you can.
If you dare.
That's awesome, Jules. I'm so proud of you. I did get a chance to look at it yesterday, and you did a really good job. And I love, because your business cards are the same way. I love like your little like pattern that you've got. Thanks. With like the little like scale thing. Oh man, it looks so cool. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Congratulations on launching your portfolio.
Why, thank you. I've been getting people asking me about it, like, what stuff have you done before? And then I sell them, and then they're gone. So yeah. I figured this would be a good place to do that. So
will that also give you a little spot where you could put like the styles and the colors you have?
Yeah, you could. I don't have that right now, but
I was just thinking it'd be cool, because then people could also look at that for like your ordering stuff.
Oh yeah, like it basically is all the stuff that I've done in the past, so that if you wanted options of like different bracelets that I've done in different colors and different lanyards and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what it is. Really excited to kind of add to it, because it was pretty darn neat. So
very cool. Nevermore, where can folks find you on the internet? I know you've been doing a lot of streaming.
I have. I've been trying to stream so hard.
You did like, was it 8 or 9 hours in a row one day?
I did on Small Business Saturday. I did 8.5 hours, all one long stream.
Wow.
Well, it's like I got to the point where it was like past like 5, and like you have to have for that step for Twitch like 8 hours for the whole month or whatever. I was like, we're just gonna keep on trucking. We're gonna push through and do this. So yeah, I've been streaming. I've been making stuff. I've listed a couple pairs of the earrings on Etsy. Not all of them yet. Not all of them, but 2 new pairs of earrings. And I have pictures of all the earrings I made from Small Business Saturday. I took nice photos of them all, and I'm going to get those listed. And I had a sale, and I made a few sales that day, so that was pretty awesome.
Cool. I know there was one set, I can't remember which ones they were. I think they were like the Nightmare Before Christmas ones that you did. She just ran away.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was like, I need those. Like, they're awesome. The, like, Jack skulls with, like, the little, like, red and green bells on them. Like,
yes, you're talking about
jingling right now.
Yeah, I can hear them. Yes, those ones. Oh, with the little snowflakes, too. Oh, I need them so bad. Oh.
It's funny because the supplies for them, I can't even see if this is in like the actual camera or not. But
yes, it is.
I ran out of green, and when I went back to go get the little, like, I bought a ring that had the jingle bells on it because it had like the little eyelets on there, and they didn't have any more, so I had to substitute different bells, and I could only find red and then small silver, so I only had 5 pairs like this where they have all the colors. And you have one's reserved for you.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Else, and I think I have 3 more like that. But then I'll have the like in the middle pair where they're just the red and silvers, which I think still works with the Jack Skellington, whatever. But so yeah, it was really fun, and I've been doing really good. And you were talking about Christmas stuff. Like I have little like super cute little Christmas like earrings, and so yeah. Anyway, so I did really good. I'm proud of myself because I've been behind on my Etsy store for a long time. So yeah, anyway, so I did, streaming at twitch.tv/geekasylum and on Twitter at @Nevermore. That's where you can find me and follow me and stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at Joce Plays. That's JOCE Plays, which is also coincidentally the Discord that we use to talk about this very show. So you can go to discord.gg/JocePlays if you'd like to join in the conversation. You can also send in an email to demonspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks you guys so much for tuning in this week, and we will see you 2 weeks from now for our last episode of 2017. What? I don't know what we'll be talking about, but it'll be great. So if you want to give us some suggestions, again, best way to do that is to go to our Discord, discord.gg/JocePlays. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.